Everybody, welcome to our American English podcast. Today we're talking about American food. And guys, do you know what pad thai is? Do you know what tamales are? Well, those foods are just as American, really, as hamburger and spaghetti and meatballs. And we're going to get more into that in just a second. All about American food and the diversity of American food. And we're going to begin in just a second. But first, everybody, please subscribe to our channel. Click the subscribe button and also click the bell. Select all. That way, YouTube will show you future videos, new videos that we upload. And also, please support the video by giving it a thumbs up. It really helps the channel, really helps the video. Please give it a thumbs up. Really appreciate it. My name is Ben, and we're joined by Leon. Hello, Leon. How are you?
Not bad at all. How's it going, Ben?
Good. I have a feeling that I'm going to be hungry sometime during this discussion.
Yeah, likewise, me too.
Yeah. And so today we're going to be talking about American food, and what better place to be than at this beautiful restaurant right along the river. What do you think? Did I take you to a nice place or what?
Yeah, this is beautiful. I'm like, wow, look at this river. I mean, can you imagine eating here, hanging out here, watching the river go by? Just peaceful. Yeah,
Yes, absolutely. And we got a few drinks on the table. Looks like our salad our salads are here.
yeah, exactly. This is
Yeah.
already making me hungry. But just the scenery here, out in the balcony, on the deck, and just watching and just, beautiful sky, eating your food, really enjoying that time in your food. Yeah.
Yes. And I don't know about you, but I love eating outdoors. There's something I don't know what it is, but food tastes better outdoors. I don't know why.
Yeah, especially if you got the view of the ocean, right? I mean, like
No.
we're from LA, right? We got the beach, and having that kind of view out there, I mean, it's just gorgeous.
Absolutely. Okay, so let's get started. American food, not just burgers, not just spaghetti and meatballs, not just pizza. Um, and yes, I did say pizza because Americans love pizza, but not just those things that you would expect. American food is actually very diverse. It's as diverse as the people who live in this country. So let me ask you, Leon, what is your favorite or some of your favorite foods?
Oh, my favorite food number one is a pot roast. I mean, without a
Uh,
doubt, pot
okay,
roast to me is the best. Yeah, hands
okay.
down. Yeah.
That is delicious. What? Okay, so let's tell people what is a pot roast.
Pot roast is kind of like a tri-tip kind of meat, and
Mhm.
it has like
It's beef.
potatoes and
Yeah.
carrots, and it's not really like a stew, but
Hmm.
what we do is we put it in a slow cooker. You put the meat there, you put maybe a cup of water, and then you put all the ingredients. You put your potatoes and carrots and
Hmm.
maybe other vegetables that you like, and you just let it sit there for like cook there for maybe 4 to 5 hours, and it comes out really tender. It has all the flavor and the juice, and it's just unbelievable taste. Yeah.
Yeah, it's delicious. Absolutely. The meat, well, literally slow cooks. If you guys are wondering what is a slow cooker, it's basically this pot it's an electric pot that you plug in and it heats up, and it's very, very low heat. And so it just cooks tough meats. So see, tough meat has great flavor, but it's tough, so it requires time. So that's why you put it in the slow cooker. It cooks really slowly, and it comes out super tender and super flavorful. Sometimes people, like if you're working an 8-hour day, I've heard of people just putting meat like that in their slow cooker. They come home, they got a hot meal, and it's like perfection.
Yeah, I agree. And of course, filet mignon is one of my favorite too. I mean, second after the
Yes.
pot roast, anything filet mignon, I'm good. But in
Yeah.
terms of the type of food I enjoy, I would say Mexican food is my number one, Italian
Hmm.
food is my second, and Japanese food is my third. So in that order. What
Hmm.
about you, Ben? What's your favorite American food? And
Well, let's see. Well, I think that for me, American food is a very broad term, so it can encompass many nationalities. But
Mhm.
so yeah, I do love Southeast Asian food like Thai food and Vietnamese food, and that's very popular in the U.S. Believe it or not, Thai food is very popular.
Yes.
Vietnamese food has come onto the scene as well. I also really like, I also really like fried chicken, if I'm being honest, and that's so all American, and I love fried chicken.
Yeah, I love fried chicken. There's this one in Century City. It was in Compton, but they
Hmm.
closed. The original was in Compton. I forgot the name of it, but they have it in Century City and no, not Century City. I take it back. Culver City.
Culver
In
City.
Culver City, it's the best. For me, it's the best fried chicken, and it also has the best cornbread. Oh my gosh, it's just
Oh
amazing.
yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
that's that cornbread thing is a
And biscuit.
very southern
Yeah.
thing. Yeah. Are
Yes.
you talking about like you're not talking about Roscoe's chicken and waffles, are you?
No, no, not
Okay.
Roscoe's.
Okay.
Roscoe's is more like what's that like chicken and gravy or
Hmm.
biscuits, right?
The
Yeah.
waffles.
Or
Yeah.
waffles, yeah, waffles, that's
Yeah.
the one. Yeah. Chicken
Which is
waffles and
yeah.
gravy.
Which is also very good. It's a southern
Yeah.
thing, you guys. Fried chicken, right? Salty, maybe spicy, paired
Hmm.
with something sweet like a waffle, which is like a
Hmm.
breakfast thing. They do that. They love that. I like it too.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, southern
Um,
foods are hard to find in the West Coast. You have to
mhm,
literally go to the south. Yeah.
mhm, mhm. But yeah, Americans we love Italian food. I think many people love Italian food. I think that uh, Italian food is eaten all over the world. Some version of Italian food. You know what I mean?
Hmm. Yeah, I would think that Americans probably their number one go-to is probably Italian food because it's
I
easy,
agree.
it's simple, you got the pastas and that kind of thing. But like I said, we have a lot of varieties of choices. Like say for example, jambalaya or shrimp gumbo. These are from the South, like Louisiana. It has a little bit of African and French cuisine flavor and Creole, so it's different. I mean, Louisiana cooking is totally different from any other of the other states that we have in the United States. Yeah.
Oh yes, because Louisiana draws inspiration from the South and the French.
The French, yes, the French, the Creole, and also the African. That's another thing too. I mean, American food. A lot of people don't understand that we had a history of slavery, right? So
Hmm.
the slaves brought in their, culture, their
Hmm.
food, and
Hmm.
they made that into the American food. That's why our food is kind of blended with a bit of African food that many people
Mm,
don't understand. So
okay.
we have different type of things, and but people when they say, "Oh, American food," all you guys have is hot dogs, hamburgers, and pizza. I mean,
Hmm.
you guys just have nothing but junk food. No, a lot of them don't really understand what America is about. We have healthy foods, we have non-junk food, but a lot of them they don't really understand the history or the culture or do kind of research. To them is what they see on Hollywood or TV, what they portray, fast food, drive-throughs, but we're more than that. We have a lot of things to offer. Yeah.
Yeah, yes, that's totally true. I mean, if you go to large American cities, and keep in mind that America has a large immigrant population. In fact, we are an immigrant
Yes,
country, right? So,
exactly.
in your large American cities, you will not have trouble finding food from your country. I mean, for example, in LA, which is even more multicultural than the typical American city, right? LA is super multicultural. So, within a square kilometer, let's say, you might find, a Thai restaurant, a Japanese, an Ethiopian, a Persian restaurant, an American restaurant, all of that in a small area because that's just how diverse. That's just how diverse American cities are, large American cities, especially LA.
Yeah, exactly. That just made me hungry right there, what you just talked about. I
Oh
mean, I
yeah,
miss
which
Persian
one of
food.
those?
Persian
Persian?
food, I miss Persian food. I love the Persian food, especially lamb kebabs. For me,
Oh
Persian
yeah.
food, lamb kebabs are the best. I mean, it's just
Yes,
unbelievable. I miss that Persian food in Irvine that I go to, and yeah, it's really good. You
me
talked about
too.
many varieties. Thai food. I mean, we have a lot of Thai food. Vietnamese too. We go to Little Saigon is in
Mm,
Orange
hmm.
County. Yeah,
Hmm.
Thai Town, which is near Hollywood and off the freeway.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, that's really good too. There's a lot of good places. Little Tokyo, it's in downtown LA. is Japanese food. Then you got Chinatown. Chinatown is more famous, the one in downtown. But if you go to like San Gabriel Valley, Diamond Bar, and City of Industry, that kind of the neck of the woods area,
Hmm.
there's a lot of really great Taiwanese and Chinese food. Yeah.
Yeah, yes, exactly. And mentioned Taiwanese. So I there's a dumpling place that I really love, and it's a world's famous chain, a very high
Mm.
quality chain. Do you know which one I'm talking about?
I
Din
don't
Tai
know the
Fung.
name. Yes, Tai Fung,
Din
exactly.
Tai Fung.
There's
Oh
al-
my God, is it
but
good?
but there's another one that I really enjoy. It's like this dumpling where there's water or soup inside, and it's one of the
Oh, that's
best.
it.
It's in San Gabriel.
That's it.
Is that it?
That's it.
Oh,
Yeah, that's
okay,
it.
yeah.
And there's always
Oh, okay.
lines. Lines. Oh my God, you
Yes.
wait an hour.
Yeah, I believe they opened one up in South Coast Plaza in Costa Mesa.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, they did. There are
Yeah.
lines at every location. You're gonna wait
Yes.
at least an hour because it's so popular.
Yes. Food is good. I mean, it's amazing. I miss that. Oh my gosh, you got me
Me
like my
too.
mouth is watering now.
Me too. You know the when I go back to LA later this year, I am definitely going to hit these places. Din
Nice.
Tai Fung is one that I really miss. I
Hmm.
mean, I went to a Din Tai Fung last year when I was in Asia, but it. Okay, this is really interesting. So I was in no, you know what? No, I'm not going to talk about this story because we're going off topic. But anyway, yes, I'm going to
Okay.
definitely hit. But you know what? Hey,
We
the
can
other
do that
thing I
another time. We can do that subject like, varieties of restaurants in LA.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
The other thing I love about American dining is this concept of fast casual. I don't know. Did we invent that? What is fast casual? I like that. I like that concept. You want to tell people what fast casual is?
Yeah, I mean, fast casual is something like very quick, like diners. You just described diners. I mean, diners is an all-American. You can't get any American than a diner. I mean, a
Hmm.
diner is where you just go in there. It's like a cafe shop or coffee shop or whatever you want to call it. You go in
Yeah.
the counter and just sit there, and it's quick. It's easy. Kind of menu. It's like all-American menus you can find or food, and it's quick. Especially for
Yes.
breakfast. They get things to you like in quick. 15 minutes, 10 minutes. That's what casual dining or fast dining, in my opinion, is. And of
Hmm.
course, you don't have to dress for it. You can just be in jeans and a shirt, that kind of stuff. So, what about you? What's your take on that?
Yes. You talk about these diners, and that whole diner culture is really big in America. There are certain chains where people love going to for breakfast and lunch, maybe even dinner. For example, what like the Waffle House, right? They're like
Hmm.
these roadside restaurants for just quick eating. Uh, Maybe not the healthiest, okay, but you certainly can get your American fix there because they're just all American. Your typical American food are in those places. Um, and and then I also like for example restaurants like Chipotle, right? Fast casual, where it's
Hmm.
sort of a hybrid between fast food and a sit down restaurant where you order at the counter, they
Hmm.
scoop it up for you, and then you're ready to go. It tends to be a little healthier, and I like that. I don't necessarily need wait service. I don't need to sit at a table and have a waiter serve me because sometimes I don't want to make a big production out of, and I don't want to take too much time. You know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
we had
Hmm.
talked about in another episode how Americans, we don't necessarily want to take too long for lunch because we want to get
Hmm.
back to work so we can leave early or whatever. So that
Hmm.
we like that kind of thing. We don't want to sit and be waited on necessarily and take half an hour for the food to come out.
Hmm. Yeah, one of my favorite is Boston Market. I mean, this kind of
Oh
gives you an
yeah.
idea of how Thanksgivings are, like what kind of food there is, but it's all year round, and I love Boston Market. It's too bad that a lot of the chains closed on it. There are a few that you can find, but Boston Market is one of my favorite. You talked about Waffle House. Oh my gosh. I mean, I wish we have that in LA. Unfortunately, it's mostly found in just the Midwest and perhaps in the East Coast. And
Yeah.
Waffle House is just amazing. I love the food there. It's a different kind of vibe. I mean, if you go there like maybe 6 p.m. and onwards, you're gonna get a different type of crowd. Some crowds that you really don't want to be around with, but
Oh,
it gets
okay.
crazy in the Waffle House at that time. Yeah.
Okay. I didn't
Yeah.
know that. Yeah,
Yeah.
Boston Market is a chain. It's a chain, and it's I think it's like, yeah, it's fast casual. You order at the counter, they scoop it up for
Hmm.
you, right? Is that right?
Hmm.
And then
Yes, that's
yeah.
correct.
Okay. So yeah, so in that the type of food they serve there is sort of like American Thanksgiving food. It's very cozy and homey. I like it too. You
Yes.
can get
Uh-huh.
turkey or roasted
And it's
chicken.
like I
And,
said, it's like a traditional of Thanksgiving. People who
hmm
type of food in Thanksgiving, Boston Market is a perfect place because you're gonna have all the trimmings of all the foods there and the normal that you would normally find in a Thanksgiving meal.
That's right. Yep. I do love that kind of food.
Yeah.
Um, and what about Okay, Mediterranean is also big because in America, we're always telling people you should, eat more of a Mediterranean diet because it's very healthy. It'll help you live longer, disease free, blah blah blah. Olive oil's good, right? So
Hmm. Hmm.
so Mediterranean foods are very popular as well. Of course, the avocado craze, but it seems like everywhere in the world there's this love for avocado these days, But
Hmm.
Americans love
Exactly.
avocado.
Hmm. Yeah, and we have all kinds. I mean, like Cobb salads. I mean, that's one of my favorite salad is the Cobb
Mm,
salad, right? We
yeah.
have the Caesar salad. I mean, we talked about in our other podcast about meatloaf, right? And then we have like different types, like lobster rolls, Philly
Mm,
cheesesteaks. We have the
mhm.
normal ribs, the barbecues, right? We have the buffalo wings. We have the BLT. What is a BLT? That's bacon, lettuce, tomato. It's healthy. We have stews, Reuben sandwich. Casserole is another American thing. Mashed potato. Mashed potato
I
is our
love
normal type of
yes,
food. Yeah, I love
yeah,
that too.
love
Green
that.
fried tomatoes, fried catfish is
Oh,
more
now you're
sour.
talking Southern, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And then we got meatballs. We got the buttermilk biscuits. We got like hush puppies. That's Southern too. That's the South. And then
Hmm.
pastrami on rye, eggs Benedict. I mean,
Miss
I can
that,
go on and on
miss
and
that.
on. Yeah, these are like your American type foods that a lot of
Mm,
people don't understand. It's not
mm,
just burgers and pizzas. No, these we
right.
have a lot of these type of foods. Yeah.
Yeah, you mentioned pastrami. My God, I missed the Jewish delis, in LA,
Oh,
with the
yes.
pastrami sandwiches, with the
Yes.
pastrami stacked so high. Oh my gosh. On
Uh-huh.
rye with that mustard. Oh my God, is it good?
Yeah, that's been there for like uh what almost 100 years, right? I think.
Yeah, some of those delis have been around
Yeah.
forever. Like, I think the most
Uh-huh.
famous restaurant in New York is Katz's Deli. It's a Jewish deli. It's amazing.
Mm. Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have
Oh,
one in
yes.
LA right on the corner, right off the freeway. I don't know. I think it's the 10 freeway or something or
Oh, you're thinking
yeah.
Langers.
Yes, exactly
Yeah,
that one.
yeah.
Yeah.
Another deli, another Jewish
Yeah.
deli.
Uh-huh.
Great
That's been there
pastrami.
ages. That's been there a long time. You get a
Yes.
line there during lunchtime. Yeah.
Yes, yes. It's very famous. And people go
Hmm.
for the pastrami or corned beef sandwiches. And
Hmm.
man, I miss one of those sandwiches with
Yeah, me too.
like the coleslaw or mashed potato on
Mm,
the side
yes.
with that
Yeah.
sandwich. Wow.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I miss my corned beef, my Reuben sandwich. I
Oh
miss that
yeah.
a lot. So yeah.
Yes.
And
I hope
people
you
also
guys are
like
getting
bagels.
sorry.
Yeah. No, go ahead. Yeah.
I was just gonna say, I hope you guys are getting hungry. What do you guys want to eat? Leave it in the comment. Tell us, are you enjoying this talk about American foods? Do you have any questions about American foods? Leave a comment. We'll answer every comment. And also, please subscribe to the channel, everybody, and make sure you also click the bell and select all. And please give this video a thumbs up. And do share this video with other English learners. Okay, so let's get back to the business of food.
Hmm.
Yes, so there,
Yeah, I was saying
I
like bagels. I was talking
oh,
about like
bagels.
bagels, like
Yes.
bagels for breakfast or hoagies. Hoagies, a lot of people say, well, what's a hoagie? Well, hoagie is actually a sandwich. They
Yeah.
just call it hoagies in the East Coast, but really in the West Coast, we call it sandwich. But they're two the same thing. Hoagies is a sandwich. Yeah.
Is a hoagie like a sub sandwich, like a
Yeah.
on a roll, right?
Uh-huh. Exactly. It's just a
Ah,
sandwich to us, but they call it a hoagie. Yeah.
okay. So if you're wondering what is a sub sandwich, it's like Subway, right?
Hmm.
It's on a roll and it's got a lot of um different kinds of meat and stuff. But you know what's really interesting? I've noticed we're talking about sandwiches and and I've noticed that like in America, we like to put a lot of meat on our sandwiches. Like you have bread and then there'll be three times as much meat as there is bread. I think that's pretty common. We like a lot of meat in our sandwiches, but like abroad, I've noticed that there's much less meat. Have
Hmm.
you noticed that?
Yes, I've noticed that. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, for us, it's like a stack full of meat. But in other
a stack.
places, in other countries, I mean, it's probably only what, maybe less than half of what meat compared to US, right? What they put on the sandwiches.
Sometimes I'm like, this is a joke. Is the meat
Yeah.
supposed to be a garnish, or what is going on here?
Yeah. You know, one thing I noticed too, like in Brazil, when they do the food, like a sandwich, for example, and they put in the meat, they actually have a scale. They put in the scale of how much meat they're gonna put in the sandwich.
Oh, okay.
In the US, they just take a whole handful and just give it to you, you know. They don't care
Yeah.
about the weight. Yeah.
And we like our sandwiches where like the meat sitting on top of the bread or in between the bread is like as thick as your fist, or let's say as high as your fist. Make a
Hmm.
fist. It's like
Yeah,
that much.
exactly.
We
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, I miss a lot of that stuff. Yeah, I mean, we have like the normal junk food, like you guys are familiar with, hot dog, pizza, burgers, but we also have like corn dog is very popular, right? Chicken
Hmm.
nuggets, of course, is another thing that's, junk food. We have like Pop Tarts for breakfast. We have the donuts. You go to Krispy Kreme donuts, best donuts
Mm-hmm.
in the world, in my opinion. Can't get
Hmm.
any better. Of course, you have like cheesecake, right?
Oh yeah.
Chips,
Mm.
like you said, fried chicken earlier. That's kind of like junk food, and of course you have the maple syrup with your pancakes and waffles and that kind of stuff. So mac and cheese is very popular too. Um,
Hmm.
burger chili is like, what's a burger chili? We have burger chilies. Yeah.
Chili burger.
Funnel cakes, yeah,
Hmm.
exactly.
Hmm.
Chili
Hmm.
burger. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. Peanut
Um,
butter sandwich, yeah. Tuna melt, yeah.
oh yeah. Sandwiches are the staple for lunch. It seems. We love having a sandwich for lunch. Sandwich, salad, sometimes salad and sandwich.
Mhm.
Um, I like a steak anytime. You can slice it up into a sandwich. We love that as well, don't we?
Yes. One thing I do miss is a clam chowder soup. I mean, this is something that I
Okay.
really miss. I mean, a clam chowder soup is one of my favorite. Unfortunately, I don't have it here in Brazil. I don't think anywhere else in the world that has clam chowder. And that's one thing I miss about the US because we have canned foods, right?
Hmm.
What's a canned food? That's like a food in a can. So we have these like Campbell's soup where it could be like clam chowder, for example. I mean, you just open it up, put it in a pot, put either a cup of water, and just start stirring, and you got yourself a clam chowder soup, or maybe some milk too, or some a cup of milk. It depends on what the ingredients or instructions are. But I miss the canned foods. I know it's not healthy. I
Hmm.
know it's kind of junk food, but I miss those kind of canned foods that we have. We have so many varieties of it.
Yeah, because well, they're convenient, right? And I want to ask
Yes.
you. You said clam chowder. So which style of clam chowder do you like? The creamy.
Yeah, I
Uh,
like the creamy, not the
okay.
Manhattan one. I do like the
Yeah. The
Manhattan one,
Boston.
but I like the Boston. Yes.
Boston clam chowder is the one that's white and creamy with
Yes.
potatoes,
That's my
right?
favorite. Yes,
Yeah.
with potato. The Manhattan
Yeah.
one is more like a tomato sauce kind of base. Yeah.
Okay. Tomatoey, brothy, thinner. The
Yes.
Boston one is thicker. Yeah, I like the Boston clam
Yeah.
chowder as well.
White. Yeah. And the
But
best
I
one
think
is in Boston. You got to go to Boston. Yeah.
you do because I will tell you something. I've not, for example, had a good lobster roll in California, but on the East Coast, it's not
Mm.
that hard. It's not hard to find a good lobster roll in the summer. They're good. I don't know what, maybe because it's coming from Maine. Is that why? But it's really good. The lobster
I
rolls.
don't know, but I've had a sandwich in the East Coast, and oh my gosh, it's like their sandwich just blows our sandwich away out of the water, right? And I
Mm-hmm.
was there in Philly, and I had like a Philly cheesesteak. We have Philly cheesesteak too in the West Coast, but when I had the Philly cheesesteak in Philadelphia, I was like, oh my gosh, I can never go back and eat a sandwich in the West Coast, to be honest with you.
Oh
It's
wow.
something to do with their food. I think it's their bread, to be honest with you. I always kid around and I say it's because of the water. They use like maybe sewer water over there, like in New York or something. So all that
Tap water.
hazardous, yeah, tap water, wastewater, all of that sewer water they probably use. But I'm
Oh
just kidding. I
God,
think
no, not suet.
that's
Why?
probably what makes the
Yeah,
bread so good. I'm
Y-
just kidding. But
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
but it's so good. I mean, their bread is totally different than the West Coast. And oh my gosh, when I was there, I just told the guy, I was like, I can't have another sandwich in the West Coast. It's never gonna be the same after I had a
Hmm.
sandwich in the West Coast. I mean the East Coast. Yeah.
Have you ever? Okay, you like Philly cheesesteaks, and you like those kind of steak sandwiches. So, have you ever had the French dip at Houston's?
Oh yes, uh-huh.
That
That's
is
really good.
that's outrageous. That French
Yeah.
dip.
Yes. Uh-huh. And they have one of that too in Philadelphia. I think there's two sandwich there that's in the top and they're like almost across from each other and they're like competing who's the best. But I just forgot the names, but those are the two best dip sandwiches that you
Oh
talked
yeah.
about.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay. In Philadelphia.
In Philadelphia. Yeah. In
Okay.
Philly. We call it
Uh,
like Philly,
we call it
short for
Philly,
Philadelphia. Yeah.
right? Philly.
Hmm.
I've not been to Philly in years. I've been though. I've not
Hmm.
been in a long time.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um. Okay. So what else? Then there's different styles of pizza as well, right? Like New York style, California style, Chicago
Hmm.
style.
Yeah, California style is totally different than the East Coast. I mean, we're still United States and we're still Americans, but our West Coast California pizza can differ than New York pizza, for example. I mean, the types of food or, just the other one, CPK, right? California
Mm,
Pizza Kitchen. I mean,
yeah.
how do, barbecue chicken pizza, they come up with so many, but it's really good. So,
It is good, and I think that a lot of people maybe on paper might be turned off to what a
yes.
Thai pizza, but try it. I'm serious,
Right.
try it. It's
Uh-huh.
delicious. Yeah,
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
yeah. That's the thing about Californians or Americans, but especially Californians, is like we like to take original recipes and we like to mess with it and we like to adapt it to the way we eat today, or we like to adapt it to the regional abundance, right? Like, so whatever ingredient is popular in that region or that area, they'll use
Hmm.
that ingredient as a substitute or whatever. So Americans like to take original recipes from, let's say, another country. Let's say those immigrants come here, they bring their original recipes, the quote authentic recipes, and then they adapt it, they change it up, they reimagine it, and we like
Hmm.
that. We like, because what
Yes.
I've noticed is restaurants in America that are not imaginative and they just typically follow the traditional recipe, the quote authentic one, those
Hmm.
chefs are not the celebrated chefs. They, because we
Hmm.
like originality in our food.
Hmm. Yeah, and speaking of that kind of thing, like tacos, for example, I love Taco Bell or Del Tacos, but you ask a Mexican, it's like that's not taco, that's American taco. Yeah, I like American
Yes.
taco. I like Taco Bell and Del Taco. I mean, what's wrong with that?
Yeah, there's
Mm.
nothing wrong with that. Right, because
Yeah.
there, of course, there's Mexican food, and then there's
Yes.
American Mexican, there's
Right.
Italian, there's American Italian. There's room
Hmm.
for both is what I'm saying. There's room for both,
Hmm.
and I think it's just it's part of the diversity of America, is that
Hmm.
we like to interpret, we like to reinterpret and reimagine foods, reimagine different recipes.
Hmm. Yeah, and like I think we can do a whole new episode of just restaurants in LA, just a
Oh, sure.
variety, right? Because
Yeah,
just talking
yeah.
about LA, it's vast, it's huge. You were talking about earlier, Thai food, Vietnamese. I mean, we can go on the kind of type of foods there are in LA, and that's just a fraction of what we have in LA. Yeah.
Yes, yes, for sure. And
Yeah.
of course, there are certain foods that people like to eat depending on what part of the country they're at. So, for example, I feel like Italian food is better in New York, and whereas I think that Asian food is better in California. What
Mhm.
do you agree or disagree with that?
What was it? What were you say? You said the Asian food in California. What was the first one that you said?
Oh, that I have had better Italian food in New York, whereas
Oh,
I've had
Italian.
better
Yeah.
Asian food in California.
Absolutely, I can agree
Mhm.
with that. Yeah, the Italian food in New York, especially Little Italy. Oh my gosh, I had a lasagna there. I was like in heaven. I mean, their lasagna, it was unbelievable in Little Italy in New York. And Asian food, yeah. I mean, if you were to go to San Francisco, Chinatown. I mean, the food, the Chinese food there, it's unbelievable, right? It's really good.
Yes. Yes.
And but if you know if you're in Southern California, you go to Vietnamese food, Japanese food, it's ridiculously crazy. I mean, it's unbelievable. The food is top notch. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's second to none. Yeah.
French food better in New York. I don't know. Maybe we're seeing, maybe there's a pattern here. The
Mm.
European food tends to be better in New York, whereas food from Asia tends to be better in California, right? Given that they
I can
share
agree
an
with that.
ocean, right? Makes
Yeah, I
sense.
can agree with that. It makes more sense. There's more people in the East Coast from Europe that settled there in the history, right? So they've
Hmm.
kind of perfected it
Yeah.
versus in California where it's more newer state than
Yeah.
New York. And the
Uh-huh.
people from Asia are coming and they're coming more towards, California West Coast than they are in the East Coast. So they're bringing all their top talents and they're sharing all of their ingredients and yeah, experience and skills. So I would agree with that. What
Hmm.
about Latin America? I mean, depends, right? I mean, if you're in Cuba, Little Havana in Florida, but if you're in Mexico, California, maybe around the
Hmm.
southern part of Arizona, maybe. But I heard a colleague of mine said that they had a Mexican food in Chicago and it was the best.
Oh, you know what?
And I'm like,
I've
nah, I don't think so. Yeah.
Yeah, well, there are a lot of Mexicans in Chicago too. It's very
Yes.
diverse. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, there's
Yeah.
Mexicans all over the U.S.
Sure.
They really have really good Mexican places, Mexican foods. But for me, I still think that LA's got to be the best, or San Diego. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, LA has East LA and San Diego,
Yes.
Southern San Diego. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Right. Yeah. Of course,
Yeah.
like if you're talking about Argentine food, or maybe Colombian food, or Chilean food, maybe even Brazilian food, probably the best one is maybe Florida, I guess. Yeah.
Oh, South American food is good in Florida. A lot of South
Yeah.
Americans. Yes.
Yes. Mm.
And then what about this thing that we invented called Tex-Mex? Huh. You like that?
Yes. Tex-Mex, I love Tex-Mex. Yeah, I mean, I can't
Uh-huh.
get enough of Tex-Mex. Every
Yeah.
time I'm there, even in the US or in California, I like the Tex-Mex restaurant. Yeah.
hmm It's a combination of Mexican with Texan, like how
Yeah.
what is it?
Texan
Cowboy?
American food. Yeah,
Yeah,
correct.
grilled
Yeah.
stuff and
Uh-huh.
yeah,
Hmm.
it's quite good. And it was the craze at a certain point, but it's sort of held steady, and they're still around, these Tex-Mex places. People like them.
Hmm. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, nice.
Yeah. Okay. So, well, I think that's a good start on this discussion. I mean, I feel like we just scratched the surface. There's no end really to talking about
Exactly.
food in America. But
Precisely.
yeah, so hey, maybe this merits a sequel, another podcast. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to leave a comment, and we'll be sure to answer all comments. And also, if you have a good one, we'll create a video to answer your question. And plus, please support this video and give it a thumbs up. And also feel free to hit the share button and share this video with your friends and fellow English learners. And one more thing, subscribe to the channel, everybody. Please also click the bell and select all. You'd be doing us a huge favor, and you'll also have access to some great videos and listening opportunities among native speakers. So thank you for joining. We're gonna stop here, Leon, and we'll pick it up in the next podcast.
Okay, cool. Sounds good. Thank you, Ben. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course. It was a pleasure as always. Everybody, thank you so much for listening, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye-bye for now.
Yeah, thanks everyone. Ciao.